Hello and welcome to another episode of Yuck, Dumb, Boo, and Bum, the NES Classic Baseball Review Show. Today, we've got maybe one of the lesser known games. You can see right here, Little League World Series. And this is one I actually don't think I even knew about until many years after the NES had passed its prime. But it's actually a lot of fun, and I've played it a lot over the last number of years. So simply enough, if you've never, say, stumbled upon it on a, weekend afternoon in August and said, why are there 12-year-old baseball on TV? The answer is it's the Little League World Series. So the way they split it up is about 8 teams from the States and then 8 international teams all come to Williamsport, Pennsylvania to play. It's a tournament format. I think right now it's double elimination. For this video game purposes, it's only a single elimination. The other difference here with the game, as you can see, I'm just going through all the names, all the different places, is that normally in the Little League World Series, the American one plays against each other all the way through. The international one plays against each other all the way through. They each have their own winner, and then the winners play for the actual Little League World Series. So it's a guarantee there's an American team in it every time. So yeah, we go through this game based on when it was, Spain, Italy, I don't really see being in it. But then your usual powers, Korea, Japan, Chinese Taipei, along with the 8 American states. So the top team through this, which by the way, I'll show you as we go through this, is New York. So that's how many baseballs out of 5 they have for each category. So they're, I think, about a 19 out of 20. You can't beat that. The second best one, oddly enough, in this is actually Canada, which is, I think, 18 out of 20. I don't know how you can, I'm not sure why that is, but, it certainly doesn't hurt given that Canada was one of the bases for, obviously getting these games. The lowest one I think I saw was Italy, which is 2 in every category. So that's it. You can go through there to at least see them. Beyond that, you've got exhibition mode where you can pick the 2 teams or a championship series. We'll do that right now. If you're trying to continue play, it'll always come up like this whether or not you've played it before. You have to put in a long, complicated password like a lot of these early 90s games, which is, you got to write it down somewhere. That's at least how you used to do it. By now, I'll take a picture with my phone. It's probably a lot easier. And that allows you to go, they misspelled forward. That should be an A, not a second O. So we're obviously not doing that. So we'll just go through and we'll just start a new series. Canada looks stacked. So let's pick Canada. You can pick other teams if you hit continue. If you hit end, just gives you the one team. So there's your complicated password. I think that's, what is it, 22 characters? Yeah, so enjoy that. So see, now you come through here. It'll allow you to watch the game, which don't do. That's going to take an eternity. Or hit speed mode, and it just gives you the box score. So there you go. Illinois beat Italy. So Illinois moves on. Florida and New York, those are both good teams. And yeah, New York, like we said, top team in this. They ended up winning. Oh, here we go. Canada against California. All right, so this is how we decide which team is the home team. As soon as you press A, that umpire tosses the bat in the air. Press A again, and someone will eventually try to catch it. And there you go. This highly technical way of doing things means that we're the home team. So you can change your batting order, change your players or your fielders, but you don't actually, if you do this, you don't actually know what anybody's ability is. So you kind of have to guess, or at least you'll see after the point. Or if you play it a little bit, you'll get an idea. 2 guys with baseballs next to their names, those are the only guys you can use, I believe, as pitchers. Or at least they're the only 2 who are actually pitchers. So we'll leave a pitcher in there, and let's get started. So we're the home team. And here we are. Let's see the graphics. Now, one of the interesting things with this one as well is this ball really has a lot of movement. I can bring it in, or I can hold up, make for a very slow pitch. And if I press down, obviously, you get a little more speed, but not a ton. And again, their abilities will factor in on this as well. Every player is graded between 1 and 5. So you see Bruce is up, he's a 3 in skill. My pitcher, Jack, is a 4. I have played as Canada before, in full disclosure, and he is the highest rated pitcher. I think one of them is a 3 and one of them is a 2. So this is the guy, they actually put the guy out there who you'd want to have pitch anyways. So now I'll try to come a little inside, but you have to be careful again because that ball really does move. So if I'm close to the ball, there we go. They're usually pretty forgiving with this. He'll just reach out with his glove and make the play. So their pitcher is a 5 named Sid. That was not supposed to happen, but this could work. The old chip it up in front of the plate. I had players on my team for years who that was the only way they could realistically get a hit. And nope, that's something worth mentioning actually. A lot of times in this game, the right fielder can get you out going to first, especially the slower hitters. So really watch out for that. And obviously if you're in the field, it's worth taking a shot at that. The ball does travel pretty quickly in this game when it's thrown, as I think you've seen. And the runners actually do have different speeds, but you know, other than the absolute fastest guys, none of them are terribly that fast. Another thing, well, we'll get back to that in a sec. Yeah, they're going to throw back, by the way, in this game. They're not afraid to throw back towards guys. One of the things is that the players are different sizes. I had a tall, skinny guy up to lead off. I don't know why I was sending my guys backwards, but that's going to be an easy out at second. And they've got little, short, skinny guy. Here's a tall, skinny guy, by the way. We had a short, stubby guy. I think my 3-hitter and my 4-hitters were short, stubby. Then there's guys who are just out and out short. I don't really want to get into body shaming here. If these are supposed to be, you know, kids playing, allegedly. One thing to note as well with this, even though it's Little League, they don't make a lot of errors. It's very similar to any other game you would see. Just because of that, they're not necessarily prone to, you know, more errors or anything like that. So this is Sid, who is a 5, is a hitter and a pitcher, by the way. Your guys can have different ratings for their hitting and pitching abilities. In this case, unfortunately, he does not. Movement of fielders, by the way, is pretty good, especially in the outfield. It's just a matter of obviously finding that shadow and getting towards it. But they do move around pretty well. And the B button is pretty responsive when it comes to leaping for a ball or more likely diving for a ball in a lot of different situations. So you saw how much movement we had on that pitch. So let me try to show you something here. I'm going to stand all the way over here, put it as far to the left as I can. That thing basically hit the 0 in Jack's little box score line there. So you can really move that ball, particularly a lefty coming across. See, it's a little harder to do it as a lefty to go outside there as a lefty. But, you know, he can do more so than, you know, realistically is possible in those situations. And yeah, we've had some games, as you just saw that dive there, where unless it's a close play, they won't let you dive, or it's a foul ball, they won't let you dive. Here they have no qualms with it, which is kind of nice, actually, but you can at least give it a shot no matter what the situation is. So here's one of my short guys, by the way. The ball comes in at the same point for everybody, so, you know, even though this Robert guy is so much bigger, he's going to swing straight through. You'll see the little guys, I think I have another little guy later in the lineup, sort of have to swing up at the ball. But even if they don't swing at that ball that they have to reach up for, it's still a strike. So the strike zone as far as height goes is the same no matter who the batter is. And obviously inside out, pretty straightforward as you can tell. So we're moving along here. Game moves at a relatively decent pace. You'll notice here's a skill 1 hitter. Skill level does affect their hitting ability somewhat, but not a ton. And there really is no rhyme or reason to the batting order that they're batted in. I was playing a team, I guess a few days ago with this when I just pulled the game back up. where, oh, see what I mean? You get at least enough of a chance they move around pretty well. Anyways, like I was saying, this team had their cleanup hitter was a skill 1 guy, which is just, I don't know why you would do that. But that's how it goes sometimes. All right, so this is our pitcher leading off. Show you a little bit of a cheat move later, but this isn't the point to do it. Again, like this game, like a lot of the, I will say, better games, you press to the base and B to move forwards, and then obviously A into the base you want to go to move back, rather than pressing up or down for all of them. It's again, more intuitive feels, and I am a big fan of the ones that have the more intuitive feels. So we'll see here. Let's see there. They're smart enough. They'll just carry it themselves. Some games they'll try to throw it away, which is obviously not the way to go. So maybe I should do this with 2 outs, but if you press B, you can do that. I don't know how that ball was caught. So this game does give you an outright bunt button. You can press B and it'll actually turn your bat. You press it once, it turns it to third base. You press it twice, it turns it to first base. And a big thing you see, especially with the Asian teams in this game, is they do a ton of bunting, which was, you know, in reality how they played at the time was you'd get the leadoff guy on and then you bunt him over. They were very big on fundamentals, which might have been a reason why they won so much. So this game gives you the option to bunt towards third or bunt towards first. As one of these teams is not getting any hits. Is that them or is that is them? I just noticed that from the box score. So no runs yet. This game will go to extras and it will go as long as it needs to go. There was one of my short guys, my shorter, heavier guys. Here's my cleanup hitter who's a 3, but he does have some power, so maybe it's just simply hitting or running ability that's the issue. Hey, speaking about power, oh boy, that didn't get out. He's got to really run to get to second. Fortunately, they threw ahead of the runner, which you're supposed to do. Well, hit the cutoff would be best, but there you go. So, you can see as well first base, second base, third base on the right-hand side where you can see your runners, which is nice because it's pretty much out of the way. You need that because of all the other graphics going on. So yeah, in these games, they will all move forwards. As you see my batter shiver at the plate. I guess he's scared. Well, that was a pretty good hit for a guy who was scared. Let's see if they try to throw to second. Nope, they're going to let me take second there. That's, again, one of those plays, a lot of Nintendo games you can get away with that and get that runner to advance because they don't want to throw the ball away and let a runner come home. You had a little umpire graphic there on the first base side. Yeah, oh, look at that one. That was a slow motion fair ball. Ooh, I better get back there. Yeah, they're not afraid to throw back in this game. That ball barely was fair and barely moved. So anyways, this guy is shaking again at the plate. So let's take this point, come up with a pinch hitter. So you don't know anybody's ability, but I'm not going to put in a guy who was a pitcher to go there. Jay, Mickey, Louie, Floyd. These all sound like plausible names. Okay, Jay's the first guy. We'll put Jay in to pinch hit. He's a 3, so that's a slight improvement. But yeah, you don't know until we get to that point. When he comes up there, it says what his skill level is. Although, of course, you can pinch hit for a guy twice, but that's annoying. Well, he came through, though. Look at that. That's going to be 2 bases for sure. We'll see if they throw ahead of the runner. If they do, I'll go to third. Yep, he's safe. Oh, there you go. That works. All right, so you've seen a few of those things now. We'll show you a pitching change a little bit later. But there you go. So, all right. No time like the present, I guess, to show you a pitching change. And you'll find one of the, I'll call it a folly with this game, but the reality is this is very much in line with how the rules were, except for pitching. So you are allowed to substitute a player, take him out of the game, and bring him back in 1 time under the re-entry rule. However, this game lets you do that with a pitcher too. So we're going to take Jack out, put Andrew in to pitch, He's only a 2 overall, or a skill level 2. Hit pause again. Player change. And back comes Jack into pitch. Not only that, but now when you stick him in, he's back up to full strength. Which might have been a bad thing because that ball got tattooed. Here's your chance to see the home run thing. A lot of different fans cheering, some busty cheerleaders in the middle with the combined pom-pom they're sharing, holding up. Yeah, okay, so I didn't notice the pom-pom thing, but yeah, these are, what, 12-year-olds? So maybe having those 2 cheerleaders like that in the middle, not okay. But, you know, again, as far as home run celebrations go, we've seen some really inappropriate ones so far in the series. Speaking of which, I should have really mentioned this at the beginning. If you want to catch up on the rest of the series, just take a look at the playlist link down below in the description. And yeah, so this is Little League World Series. It's a lot of fun to play. It actually has at least a form of a playoff mode that doesn't take, 78 games to get to. Really, it's just 4 games all the way through, right? Round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then finals, essentially. So you can get through it in a sitting. Maybe a little bit of a long sitting, but you can get through it in a sitting realistically. And again, you've got the password, so you can always come back to it. Or you can try to play it as multiple teams again. Same kind of concept, and you're able to at least keep it going. So that's a reason that this game is enjoyable and has some replay value. Again, the graphics are pretty good. They're actually nice, colorful, different teams of different colors. The players look somewhat like players. I really haven't touched on that, but I think it looks great. And so probably as far as, gameplay, overall play, plausibility, everything like that, this is one of my favorite games on the NES. So I'm glad I got to share this one with you this time. I don't know which one we're going to see next time, so I guess it'll be a surprise to both you and I. But thanks as always for joining, and we'll see you again next time.